Coming up on Beach TV News. Breaking now, President-elect Donald Trump confirms his plan to declare a national emergency, which could lead to mass deportations. Will Congress intervene? Plus, President Biden gives the go-ahead. Ukraine can now use U.S.-made missiles to attack Russia. How will this intensify an already volatile situation in the region? And calling all Disney fans, here's your first look at Tiana's Bayou adventure. The images up next. Beach TV News starts now. Welcome to this edition of Beach TV News. I'm Liz Hanna.
And I'm Enrique Rodriguez. Beach TV News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Long Beach. We begin tonight with President-elect Donald Trump's plans to call a national immigration emergency once he takes back the White House. President Trump has confirmed plans to begin immediate mass deportations and to amplify strict border measures. There are talks that the U.S. military will be used to deport undocumented immigrants. But some legal experts warn that calling on a military illegal and Congress could step in. In his first run as president, Trump's attempt to finish building the border wall to keep undocumented immigrants out failed to get the necessary funds from the Senate to complete the project. This time around, he says he will focus on interior enforcement to make sure that the people only enter the U.S. legally.
Many young voters have mixed opinions about Trump's future policies, and numerous threats have shaken up the holidays for several members of Congress. Here is BTVN reporter Carla Valdez with those details.
That's right, Liz. During the Thanksgiving holiday, some members of Congress faced a unique situation involving personal threats. And Karoline Leavitt becomes the youngest press secretary on Trump's team. But many young Trump supporters have mixed opinions about his intended policies. Take a look.
Even though Trump gained the majority of young voters in this election, many of them disagree with certain of his policies. Although Americans between the ages of 18 and 29 voted for Trump, their opinions and interests varied greatly from those of those prominent Republican leaders or older conservatives. Trump received almost half of the vote, up from roughly one-third in 2020. Young Trump supporters hope to see improvements in economic stability, job creation, and financial security.
3 days until President Trump is reelected back to the White House.
Karoline Leavitt will be the first youngest person at 27 years old serving as National Press Secretary for the campaign on Trump's team. She is also an alum of the president-elect's first White House administration, where she served as an assistant press secretary and has previously worked as the communications director for New York Republican Representative Elise Stefanik. She is a strong advocate for young people and encourages everyone to learn what it takes to live the American dream. 6 Democrats in Congress say that they were targeted with a bomb threat over the Thanksgiving holiday. Chris Murphy, Joe Courtney, Jim Himes, John Larson, and Hannah Hayes all released a statement about the threats. Representative Seth Magaziner was also notified about a bomb threat in his house. CNN states that the incidents were all signed with Make America Great Again at the end of the message and consisted of swatting to specific threats of a pipe bomb in mailboxes. But it is said that there are no apparent connections behind the threats and all representatives and their families are safe.
Now, just like many young voters, we hope for positive change, unity, and better economic stability in the near future. Back to you, Liz.
Thank you, Carla. In Columbus, Ohio, a group of neo-Nazis was captured on film marching through a downtown street. About a dozen armed and masked men with megaphones and flags marked with swastikas were seen shouting racial slurs and anti-Semitic hate speech. Columbus dispatchers said they received multiple 911 calls from concerned citizens on Saturday afternoon. However, no arrests were made in connection to the public disturbance. In response to the neo-Nazi display, community leaders from Columbus gathered together on Sunday afternoon to counter the hate speech rally. This countermarch was led by local pastors, attorneys, and business owners who follow the exact same route, expressing a message of unity in the face of hate.
It's time to check your fridge for the latest culprit in a long time of recent recalls. A person has died and dozens of others have fallen ill in connection to an E. coli outbreak linked to organic carrots. Bagged whole and baby carrots supplied by Grimaway Farms were impacted by the outbreak. Recalls of the affected products have been conducted at several grocery store chains, including Trader Joe's and Wegmans. E. coli infections typically start a few days after a person consumes the contaminated food, and symptoms can include a range of gastrointestinal issues. Anyone with the recalled products are urged to immediately discard of them. Don't go anywhere just yet, as we have a major shift in U.S. policy that's causing some serious global ripples. Ukraine's military just got a powerful upgrade, but what does that mean for the bigger picture? And that's not all. There's plenty of happening around the globe. Let's check in with Tanisha Bukat for all the details.
Thanks, Enrique. Tonight, the stakes are high as President Biden greenlights Ukraine's use of long-range missiles, while a postal strike in Canada is shaking up holiday plans. And just when you think it can't get more intense, tragedy strikes in Beirut as a soccer player is caught in the crossfire.
President Biden has approved Ukraine's use of U.S. long-range missiles to strike inside Russia, marking a shift in U.S. policy.
Missiles will speak for themselves, for sure.
This decision comes as North Korea sends troops to support Russian forces. Some people are worried it could lead to World War III, while others like U.S. Representative Marilyn Strickland says it's important to stand by Ukraine. However, Biden's team has not commented on the change. Lebanese footballer Celine Haidar was seriously injured by fragments from an Israeli missile attack in Beirut. Haidar, who was in a nearby area, suffered head injuries and is in critical condition after emergency surgery. The attack has shocked Lebanon's sports community, with many sending well wishes. The hospital where she was treated was also hit by a missile. FIFA has been urged to condemn the attack as tensions continue to rise in the region. Canada's postal workers are on strike, with 55,000 employees demanding better pay and safer conditions. The walkout is causing delays and post office closures just before the busy holiday season. A government mediator has been appointed to help resolve the issue, but for now, mail services are paused across the country.
And that's your window to the world this week. Big decisions, big disruptions, and unfortunately, some big losses. As tensions rise around the world, we'll be keeping a close eye on how things unfold. Back to you guys.
It's time for a quick break, but when we return, things are heating up in the sports world. From the WNBA draft lottery to high school football's biggest rivalry to Beyonce's Christmas surprise. Plus,
would you trust a ride with no driver and no one to blame when you hit traffic? Well, we're about to show you a car that's got no hands on the steering wheel. So stick around because you wouldn't want to miss this futuristic twist on your everyday commute.
welcome back. Now picture this. You step outside, call a car, and it arrives without a driver. Sounds like science fiction, but it's happening right now. Buckle up because BTVN reporter Tanisha Bukat is taking us to Los Angeles, where she dives into the rise of robo-taxis.
Imagine calling a ride, but there's no one behind the wheel. It sounds like the future, but in Los Angeles, it's here today. It's as easy as ordering a coffee, but instead of a barista, it's artificial intelligence taking the orders and the wheel. Waymo One is already rolling in Phoenix and San Francisco. But how do Bay Area locals feel? We caught up with a San Francisco tourist in LA who shared her encounter with a robo-taxi.
They had like the wrong signal and they ended up turning like the other way. Like that's what I saw and I was like, that's not too safe.
It's officially on the job across LA. No steering wheel tantrums, just a smooth ride. Now, what is it like to catch a ride without a driver? Well, let's take a trip through the city and find out if this robo ride lives up to the hype. Let's go. It feels so surreal, like everything feels so futuristic, and as you can see, the steering wheel is moving by itself with no driver in sight.
Waymo One doesn't publish exact pricing, but riders say even short trips can cost around $10 to $13, which is pricier than Uber. Not many have jumped into the driverless seat just yet, as the robo-taxi trend is still new. But some, like this college student, says he would give it a shot.
I would do it. It'd be a cool experience, I would do it.
But of course, not everyone is ready to trust an AI car just yet.
Like, what if it malfunctions or there's like a blackout that happens? Like, there's no one to physically take the wheel. Maybe Jesus at that moment.
This robo-taxi service could be the future of transportation. No driver needed. But will LA's streets be ready for the driverless revolution? Only time will tell. For now, the ride's just getting started.
Reporting from Los Angeles, Tanisha Bukad, Beach TV News.
Today's technology is insane. I honestly should try that out in the future. Thank you, Tanisha. The 2025 WNBA Draft Lottery results are in. The Los Angeles Sparks were in Long Beach at the Watch Me Women's Sports Bar over the weekend for a draft lottery watch party, where last year's first-round pick Cameron Brink and her teammates learned that they received the number 2 pick in next year's draft. According to ESPN, LA is projected to select Kiki Iriafen, a power forward out of USC. Iriafen is just one of a few Trojan prospects that could make the move from the Galen Center to Crypto.com Arena in the coming years. With the start of the NBA basketball and the end of football season in sight, there is no better time to be a sports fan. Our BTN reporter Lorenzo Gaetan has more on what's happening in the wide world of sports.
Thanks, Enrique. This weekend, one of the biggest boxing matches of the year happened. An unexpected team remains undefeated in the NBA, and an NFL team's hot streak comes to an end. Here's the latest from the world of sports.
Let's start with the most anticipated fight of the year, the problem child Jake Paul versus the Iron Mike himself, Mike Tyson. While Paul won the fight by unanimous decision, it ended with both fighters having spoke about their opponents positively, with Paul even going as far to say that he's a legend and the greatest to ever do it. He's the GOAT. I look up to him. I'm inspired by him. This man is an icon. Paul continued on talking about how wanting to give the fans a show, but didn't want to knock out Tyson out of respect for the boxing legend. Tyson then took to Twitter after the fight and said, "This is one of those situations where you lost, but still won. I'm grateful for last night. No regrets to get in the ring one last time." He then spoke about a health scare that he had in June, but continued on to say that it was a privilege that no man has the right to ask for. Let's head to Cleveland and the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse as the Cavaliers continue their scorching run of form as they become the 4th team in NBA history to start the season 15-0. The Cavs and the Hornets played Sunday night, and even after resting star Donovan Mitchell, the Cavs got it done. 3 Cavs players had double-doubles, which included Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. All had over 20 points and 10 assists, marking the second time in Cavaliers history that they've had 4 20-point scorers in consecutive games since 1972. The Hornets were shut down as the Cavs switched into a zone defense, not giving them a chance to shoot any threes. The Cavs head to Boston to take on the Celtics in the Emirates NBA Cup.
We end in Buffalo as Josh Allen and the Bills took on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs at Highmark Stadium. The first half saw both squads put up points, but it was the Chiefs that ended the first half with a 2-point advantage. In the second half, the Chiefs blew the game open, leading 21-14. But Josh Allen's Bills got gritty and clawed their way back into the game. The crushing blow came from Josh Allen himself, as he ran a 26-yard touchdown to end the game in what fans are calling the play of the season. The Chiefs will take a trip to North Carolina to play the Panthers as the Bills return home to enjoy their bye week. Congratulations to Jake Paul for winning his fight, and a big round of applause to Mike Tyson for stepping in the ring at 58 years old, solidifying his status as a true icon of the sport. Now, just take a look at these images of a man clinging to a cliff for dear life. 911 received a call from bystanders who witnessed a man crying for help as he was dangling from a cliff above Baker Beach near San Francisco. There's no telling how long the solo climber was hanging on, but the San Francisco Fire Department and the California Highway Patrol wasted no time as they worked together to rescue him. A scary scene in the Bay Area, but fortunately, the man was able to receive air assistance from the THP and was rescued off the cliff safely. Who knew hiking by yourself could be so dangerous? Now, back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Houston is getting a big Christmas gift this year, but step aside Santa because this time Beyonce is coming to town. Beyonce is set to perform her third NFL halftime show when the Houston Texans take on the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas Day. Netflix announced that it will give viewers with their first ever live stream of both NFL Christmas Day games, where Queen Bee will perform her album Cowboy Carter, making its first onstage debut. Little is known about what to expect, but the show is rumored to feature several artists, including in the album, giving the spotlight to country music, R&B, and pop.
On Thanksgiving morning, do you like running laps or staying in your sweatpants? While in Oregon for the holiday, I went to an annual turkey trot and asked the runners why they picked hitting the streets instead of cooking those meats.
On Thanksgiving, you have two groups of people, the ones that turkey trot and those that just want to get that turkey hot. We spoke with some trotters to find out why they chose to race instead of sitting by the fire this holiday morning.
I like coming out here because it's fun and it makes me feel good.
I love it because I get to see all these people trying to be better and like having a good time outside.
Corvallis, Oregon's annual turkey trot features a 5K, 10K, and even a 1K for little gobblers. Here's what a first-timer had to say about what motivated him to the finish line.
I thought, well, I can eat a lot more at Thanksgiving now if I do this. And then I just got into it and it was fun. You know, you see everybody with their hats and everybody's having a good time and they're cheering you on. And it just gave me that motivation. And yeah, I had a great time. I think I'll probably do it every year now.
Some were in it to win it, lining up at the end of the race, checking their stats and rank against others in their age group. But it was all in fun for most of the trotters, and we asked what happens next now that the race is over.
Shower, eat, and make turkey and relax. Because now we've got our calories gone. You know, we can eat the calories.
Happy tail feathers wag to another successful turkey trot.
Time for another quick break, but up next.
If you see a bear on the loose, you might want to look twice. And Disneyland has reopened a fan favorite. Plus, with the holidays right around the corner, see how a local community is giving back to those in need. All this and more next.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. He asked all his therapists to help him undertake some of the house chores. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey.
Welcome back. And if you think you had heard it all, let me tell you, you're wrong. Officials thought a couple of car break-ins had been caught on camera in Big Bear. And culprits? Bears doing the damage, or so it seemed. But after a close investigation, the suspect bears were actually just people dressed up in a bear costume who were part of an elaborate fraud scheme. 4 people were arrested after detectives found 2 claims with 2 different insurance companies with the same date and location. Even biologists of the California Department of Wildlife were part of the investigation and declared that it was, in fact, a human in a bear costume. What is that?
What a story. You just can't make this stuff up. There's plenty of buzz in the world of entertainment right now. Here with the major scoop is BTVN's Ivan Ruiz.
Thank you, Liz. A very busy start to the holiday season here in Hollywood. Kicking things off with music's biggest night, celebrating the artists who have made an impact this past year. Also, some very exciting news for actress Margot Robbie. This is your entertainment rundown.
The list of this year's nominees is one for the books, but the coveted award for Album of the Year includes New Blue Sun by Andre 3000, Cowboy Carter by Beyonce, Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter, Brat by Charlie XCX, D. Jesse Volume 4 by Jacob Collier, Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish, The Rise and Fall of a Midwestern Princess by Chappell Roan, and The Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift. This year marked a record 99 Grammy Award career nominations for Beyonce, who becomes the first artist in history to achieve this goal. The cast of Wicked takes over the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion for the LA premiere. The dazzling red carpet event featured stars Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, and Jonathan Bailey. They were joined by Broadway legends Kristen Chenoweth and Idina Menzel, both who played Glinda the Good Witch and Elphaba in the original Broadway musical. The film is slated to be part one of a two-part story arc and is projected to be a major hit with audiences this holiday season. Congratulations are due to Margot Robbie and her husband Tom Ackerley, who welcomed their first child, a baby boy. The Barbie star first announced her pregnancy in July 2024 after photos of her with a baby bump were published in the Daily Mail.
Huge congratulations to all the stars involved. Don't forget, the Grammy Awards will air live Sunday, February 2nd, 2025 from the Crypto Arena. That wraps up our look at entertainment news. Happy holidays. Now back to you, Liz.
Disneyland officially opened Tiana's Bayou Adventure to guests, reimagining Splash Mountain into a salt mine owned by the Disney princess. Soft openings ran for a few weeks before the highly anticipated attraction opened on November 15th. Almost identical to the Walt Disney World ride, Tiana's Bayou Adventure shows off new animatronics never before seen at Disneyland. The ride also features a new song, Special Spice, recorded by Anika Noni Rose, the voice of Tiana from the film. Disneyland also changed the land into Bayou Country accompanying the ride. And we end tonight with a story about an important milestone for our news team. Our broadcast Beach TV News was selected by the College Media Association as the 2024 TV Station of the Year.
A very much deserved award for our amazing team of TV journalists. The Associated College Press also awarded us the prestigious Pacemaker Award, considered the Pulitzer Prize of the College of Journalism.
Our dedicated reporters are out in the community week after week reporting on news surrounding local, national, and at times even international issues.
Our newly revamped broadcast program started just 2 years ago when our news director Jesus Ayala came to Cal State Long Beach with a vision to have this program compete among the very best broadcast TV programs in the country for national accolades.
Well, that vision is now a reality, and now we get to add this award to the growing number of trophies BTVN has won in the past year. And we look forward to growing and winning many more. We really are so blessed to work for one of the best teams in collegiate broadcast news.
I second that one, Liz. Go Beach!
On that note, we end this edition of Beach TV News. I'm Liz Hanna.
And I'm Enrique Rodriguez. Remember to stay connected and be a part of the conversation. Head on over to our social apps at Beach TV News and let us know, what do you think of today's stories?
From all of us at Beach TV News, good night, Long Beach.